Om Sarvadharmastapakatvam Sarvadharmaswarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam. Sri Ramakrishna telling householders, you need not get dejected that the path is so stringent, the path is so difficult. You start practicing the spiritual disciplines. And Sri Ramakrishna says, practice of discipline is absolutely necessary. There is no doubt about it. There are no two opinions about it. Practice of discipline is extremely important. But it need not be as stringent as those sadhakas, as those yogis, if you have faith in your Guru's words. Sri Ramakrishna says, have faith in your Guru's words. Start following the path that your Guru has shown you, and then you need not do such a great hard work in terms of spiritual practices. And what kind of faith that we should have, what kind of faith these householders they should generate towards the Guru's words. And for that, Sri Ramakrishna had told us three beautiful stories. The story of Vedavyasa and the gopis, the story of Shankaracharya and the butcher, and the story of Jada Bharata and that king Rahugana. So through these stories, Sri Ramakrishna impressed upon the minds of the devotees the greatness and the necessity of cultivating that faith in Guru's words. Vedavyasa had got such a faith that it is the Lord Narayana who is dwelling in his heart, and he has eaten all that milk and cream and gopis that they had provided. After consuming everything that the gopis could provide, milk, cream, butter, in spite of that, Vedavyasa telling river Yamuna, "Oh river Yamuna, if I have not eaten anything today, please part the ways and make way for us. We have to cross over from this bank to that bank." And river Yamuna, in fact, it stopped its flow, parted the waters and made a way. The gopis were dumbstruck. They were absolutely amazed. They were astonished. Here this man, he has eaten everything and still he says, if I have not anything today. And river Yamuna has made a way for him because he has not eaten anything. He had the great faith that the Lord Narayana sitting in his heart has eaten everything. Coming to the story of Shankaracharya and butcher, Shankaracharya, when he was coming out of Ganges after taking bath, inadvertently the butcher who was carrying the meat on his shoulder, the load of meat on his shoulder, he touched Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya became extremely angry, so wild. He started shouting at the butcher, "How dare you touch me?" And the butcher, who happened to be a Brahmajnani, he opened Shankaracharya's eyes. Butcher said to him, "Who touched who? I am not this body. You are not this body. How can I touch you? How can you get impure with my touch? I am not the body. You are not the body. I am not the five primary elements, the Panchamahabhuta. You are not the five primary elements. I am not the 24 cosmic principles. You are not the 24 cosmic principles. I am pure Brahman. I am pure self. You are pure self. Where is the matter of body touching the body? Where is the matter of you getting impure?" And he had that strong faith that the body can never exist without the pure self in it. It is the pure self which is dwelling in this body, which is the purest of the pure, and it cannot make anything impure by a mere human touch. That was the faith this butcher had, and it opened Shankaracharya's eyes. He brought Shankaracharya to senses. Till that time, Shankaracharya had not advanced so much on that the path of Advaita. And then the third story, Sri Ramakrishna told us what was the Jada Bharata. When that king asked his palanquin bearers to pick up that lazy man who is sleeping there under the tree, ask him to bear the load of my palanquin and carry me forward. And Jadabharata agreed. He took the palanquin on his shoulder, and along with other palanquin bearers, he started moving. And while moving, he is giving a discourse on the Brahmadhyana, the Atmadhyana, the knowledge of the soul. And the king was astonished. This lazy guy who was just sleeping under the tree, I asked him to be my palanquin bearer, and he is giving a treatise, he is giving a discourse on Brahmatjnana. He got down, bowed down before Jadabharata, and asked him, "Pray me, revered sir, who are you?" And what was Jadabharata's answer? He never answered, "I am Jadabharata." He said, Who am I? I am not this body. I am not the Panchamahabhutas. I am not the 24 cosmic principles. I am pure self. That was his faith. That was his faith. Who am I? Aham Brahmosmi. Saha aham, saha aham. That was the kind of faith that householders should generate in their guru's words. But Sri Ramakrishna gives a word of caution. He says it is not good for householders like Vedavyasa, like that butcher, or like Jadabharata to claim, "I am Brahman." They should never claim, "I am Brahman." They should bow down. They should accept that I am the child of Brahman. So that is what now Sri Ramakrishna is going to tell us today regarding the attitude that the householders, they should have. They should, of course, have the faith in the Lord, in their Guru's words. But Sri Ramakrishna says, "I am He, I am the pure self." That is the conclusion of the jnanis. Sage Vyasa could afford to say it. Even the butcher, the Brahmajnani, could afford to say it. Jadabharata, of course, could afford to say it. Their saying, "I am pure self," was a different matter. But the bhakta says, the whole universe is the glory of God. Sri Ramakrishna says, the bhaktas, the devotees, they never say, "I am Brahman." They never say, "I am pure self." They say, this entire creation, this entire world is the glory of God. It is the God who is manifesting in this entire creation, in each and every atom of the creation. The Lord is manifesting Himself. The Divine Mother is pervading this entire creation. The whole universe is the glory of the God. That is what the devotees, they say. Who would recognize a wealthy man without his power and riches? Unless and until a man possesses power and riches, unless and until the God has this creation, who will say He is the creator? For a person to be recognized as a wealthy person, he should possess power, he should possess riches, he should have properties, he should have estates, he should have plenty of money with him. Only then people will say, "Oh, he's a wealthy man." If he doesn't have any of these things, how can people recognize that person to be a wealthy person? So he has to have all those supporting documents and supporting riches and the supporting wealth to claim himself wealthy. And God has this entire creation in His possession, the wealthiest of all the wealthiest. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna says. Who would recognize a wealthy man without his power and riches? So God has created this creation. That this is God's power. These are the God's riches. This is the God's wealth. He is the ultimate. He is pervading everything. But it is quite different when God Himself, gratified by the aspirant's devotion, says to him, "You are the same as myself." So Sri Ramakrishna says, let the householders never say, "I am Brahman." Let the God, through His grace, let the God, through His blessings, come and tell the devotee, that you and I are same. You are the same as myself. God's telling this is a different matter. But the householders, ordinary devotees, they should never claim Saha Aham, Soham, or Aham Brahmosmi. They are not in the category of Veda Vyasa or the Brahmadhyani butcher or Jada Bharata. They are way below. There is a long, long way for these ordinary devotees to reach that level. They will reach one day, no doubt. But at this start of the journey, they cannot claim Aham Brahmosmi. For that, it is always better that God, through His grace, God, through His blessings, God, through His compassion, comes and tells the devotee, you and me, we are the same. God telling this is a different thing. And now for that, Sri Ramakrishna tells a very beautiful story. Example he gives. Sri Ramakrishna says, suppose a king is seated in his court and his cook enters the hall and sits on the throne and says, O king, you and I are the same. King is sitting on the throne. There are so many dignitaries in the court present, all these ministers and important portfolios, and suddenly the cook of the king comes to the throne and pats king on his back. You and me are same, and sits on the throne along with by the side of the king. What will be the reaction of all these courtiers? What will be the reaction of all these dignitaries and ministries? They will have only one reaction, Sri Ramakrishna says. People will certainly call him a madman, nothing else. How can a cook come and in the court, come and sit beside the king on the throne and say, King, you and me are same? Can a cook say like this? Everybody will say he's a madman. But suppose one day the king, pleased with the duties, the cook's service, says to him, come, sit beside me. There is nothing wrong in that. There is no difference between you and me. If the king says so, king is extremely happy with the service that the cook has provided him, and he's so pleased, he's so happy that king invites the cook to the court and he tells him, come, cook, you have done exemplary service. Come, you come and sit next to me. You and me, we are same. If the king says so, then what will be the reaction? That then if the cook sits on the throne with the king, there is no harm in it. Then everybody starts praising the great service that the cook has done for the king, that he has got this opportunity of sitting there next to king on the throne. Everybody starts praising the cook, that what a wonderful service he has rendered. But for that, king has to invite him. King has to tell him, I am so much pleased with your service. Simply saying, a devotee saying, me and I am Brahman, there is no point. Let God come and tell. Let God give him the authority. Let God come and tell him, oh my dear devotee, I am so much pleased with your devotion. I am so much pleased with your chanting. I am so much pleased with your singing my glories, your meditation on me. I am so much pleased. Come. Now come and sit on my lap. You and me, we are the same. God saying this is different. Instead of a childish, an amateur devotee who had just started walking on this path, claiming Aham Brahmosmi. No, people will say, yes, he's a madman. Like the court people, they would say to the cook, if he cook on his own comes and sits on the throne of the king by his side. But it is a different matter if king calls him. That is, then the cook starts getting all the praises in the world. Everybody starts praising him. What a wonderful service this cook must have been doing for the king, that the king is so happy. And that's what happens when a devotee gets blessed. When devotee receives the grace of the Divine Mother, everybody starts just praising the devotion of the devotee. Then people realize, He is a chosen one. He has got the command from the God. He has got the authority from his mother. Come, my child, sit on my lap. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, then there is no harm in it. It is not good for ordinary people to say, I am he. Soham, not good for ordinary people. First, you gain something, then you claim it. Otherwise, just say, I am a child, I am a servant, I am a chariot. And for that, Sri Ramakrishna gives another example. Sri Ramakrishna says, the waves belong to the water. Does the water belong to the waves? When we go and see at some water body, whether it is a lake or a mighty ocean, all the water bodies, they have waves on it. Now, all these waves, they are all individual waves. They come and go. Millions and trillions of waves will be coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. The water body is not the waves. The ocean is not the wave. Wave is the ocean. Wave is part of the ocean. Wave can say, I am part of this ocean. But wave is not the ocean. That is the difference between the child and the mother. That is the difference between the servant and the master. That is the difference between the devotee and the deity. I belong to mother. Mother is not me. I belong to the mother. The waves belong to the ocean. Ocean doesn't belong to the waves. So that is the attitude that the householders in the beginning, they should always carry with them. I am a simple wave. I come and go. I must have risen a million and trillion times on this surface of the ocean. Every time I come up, I go down. Again I come up. Again I go down. Again another wave comes up. Another wave goes down. The waves never become ocean. But ocean is the wave. Ocean is represented by the waves. This creation is represented by all these beings. The Lord is represented by all these beings. That is the attitude Sri Ramakrishna says that the householders should possess. Like the devotees say that God is pervading this entire creation. Waves are pervading this entire ocean. Ocean doesn't belong to the waves. Waves belong to the ocean. I belong to the Lord. I am not Lord. I belong to the Lord. So that is the attitude that the householders should always have. A childlike attitude. I am the devotee. He is the deity. I am the servant. He is the master. I am the child. She is the mother. I am the wave. And this water body, huge water body, ocean. I belong to ocean. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swami.